Well, the remote viewer has finally arrived, the Sony remote, or live view remote. This is the wrist viewer for the Sony Action Cam. It finally arrived in the mail. If you're going to be buying the Sony Action Cam, be prepared that this wrist viewer may not be available and may take a week before they can find it for you. There was an earthquake in Japan, and the factory that makes these, I guess, are running a little behind schedule. So we're going to take this out of the box and figure out how to use it. It's very simple. What I find out is to use this thing, it's very simple. Believe it or not, for like a week or so, I've been using the camera without the wrist viewer. And believe it or not, you can actually kind of get a good feel of where to hold the camera even without this thing. But, of course, this has to be a lot nicer when you have this on your wrist and you know exactly what you're going to be shooting, whatever you're right there. You know, this is going to be much, much better. So let's figure out how to use it together. And in the bottom of the box, in the white box, you have your directions. And more directions. And this must be how you charge it. So again, let's go on and power it up and get it working. Okay, as you can see, we plugged this USB cable into the computer. The other side goes into the viewer wristband. The amber light, see the amber or the green? It's supposed to be amber or even green looking light comes on. So now we charge the battery. This thing has a battery. When the light goes off, you know it's charged, and we'll go on further. So go ahead and charge the battery before we go to the next step. Okay, so we've charged the batteries up, and now we have to turn the viewer on. Push this button here. It turns on now. If this is the first time that you've turned your viewer on, your live view remote wristband, then we're going to have to set the time, I believe. They told somehow that it says set the time first thing we do. So we use these buttons here, I believe. Okay, the GMT means Greenwich time. If we're in Pacific time would be 7. So it's kind of weird. But anyhow, Greenwich time is 7 for Pacific time. Oh, so it's anyhow, once you get the right time in there, you hit the record button. That puts us daylight saving time is off. Hit enter. Now they want the date, year and date. So okay, we'll go. Do you want to do a day, monthly, and yearly? So we'll go day. No, we'll do month, day, year. The month would be July. I hit enter. The day is the 21st. Enter. 16. Enter. We'll say it's 9 o'clock. 9 p.m. There you go, all that's set, hit enter. And now what you want to do, okay, so next step is we turn the action camera on. Now something should pop up here. See that pops on there? That's the camera. We go ahead and click on there. And you hear that beeping. You push and hold that. Well, that's not correct. See, I watched another video on YouTube and they told me to hold that, but it was a different model. See, so I'm going to make this video just in case you have one like me and they have different buttons. It didn't work right. I did everything they said on another YouTube video. It never worked right. And I followed the directions. Only problem with the directions, they don't tell you the correct buttons on the direction either. It says accept. We're supposed to hit the button to accept it. So as you can see, I ran into some problems, and you're going to run into problems also, and I'll tell you what the problem is. The directions always say hit the enter button. As you can see, there's no enter button on this camera. If you go to the other YouTube channels that have this video how-to, they tell you the same thing. Hit the enter button or hold it, and it's all bullshit. When it comes to this camera, the key is to hit the record button. I believe the record button, it's on the back of the camera, I believe that's the enter button. So I was pushing these two buttons here, the previous and the next button. I was pushing those for what seemed like 30-40 minutes and getting nowhere. So finally, after I went through the directions, I hit the button on the back of the camera, the record button. I think that's the enter button. So if you want to connect these things together, that's basically what we're doing here. You're connecting your wrist viewer to your camera. And remember to click the button in the back of the camera, because you can click this you can push the previous button and the next button. You can push those from here to eternity. That sucker's not going to connect. So I hope this kind of helps you. If you got my camera, which this one here is an HDR-AS200V. If you have this one, remember to hit the record button. I believe the record button is the enter. And as long as you know that, you should have no problem connecting these, because the directions always say enter. Oh, hit the enter button. There's no enter button on our phone, so it confuses you. And this really should have been a lot easier. It really should have been easier. Had there been a button that said enter on it, it would be easy. So what should have took me maybe 2 minutes, I was messing with this sucker for probably over 35 minutes. Oh yeah, I'm an old man. But finally I figured it out. It's the back button. You hit the back button for enter, and it's got it all working. So good luck. Good luck with your camera.